The volleyball team's back home after a pretty long stretch on the road. And Coach, you had a couple of weekends on the road away from the Corral here. Now that you're back home, we have some wins to talk about. Teams won 2 of the past 3 matches, starting with ECU a couple of weekends ago. First of all, having won 2 of the past 3, how do you think this bunch is feeling?
I think that we're in a good place right now, and we just continue to get better every single week, and that's got to be the focus. You can't really focus on the wins and losses right now. It's all about, are we a better team today than we were a week ago? And I think the answer is yes.
So ECU, that was the first time you played that team on the road a couple of weekends ago. Clean sweep. What did your team do well against the Pirates?
Our defense was phenomenal. Denise Belcher hit over a 500 that day. Jolie Holland was hot in the middle, and Dakota Hampton had another great night.
Double-double again for Dakota Hampton. I feel like we could say that every time now with her double-doubles. But with her double-digit digs, 3 other players had double-digit digs. So to have 4 players with all of those digs, how demoralizing is that for the other team when they just can't get anything cleanly because your defense is always there?
Right. It sure slows down their offense. They can't do exactly what they want to do. And, you know, it gets frustrating when you're trying to get those kills and there's just someone there stealing those kills from you. But I was really proud of the defensive effort. To me, defense is a lot about effort, just keeping the ball alive and, again, taking the kill from the other team. So our defense was sharp, which in turn made our offense much better.
Now, this past weekend, 2 5-set matches on the road against 2 teams that, ironically, you played 5-set matches against here, Tulane and Houston. That Friday night against Tulane, very hard fought. The Green Wave did come out with a win. What did they do differently this time to take that match from you guys?
You know, obviously we're fairly evenly matched teams going 5 sets both times, and I think they just made a few less errors than us. It was a high error match for both teams, and unfortunately, you know, we made a few too many errors to be able to get the win that night. There were a few great performances. Our middles were hot. We did a really good job blocking. Unfortunately, we just came up short.
Well, you had another 5-set match against Houston this past Sunday. Very hard fought, except they came out and took the first 2 sets. So having dropped the Tulane match, having dropped the first 2 sets, what did you tell your team? Was there any panic when you went out to start that 3rd set?
No. You know, what I kept telling them between timeouts of the first set, timeouts of the second set, and then in between sets, I'm saying, do you feel like you're playing your best? And they all said no. And I said, and you're still in it. You know, we're only a couple points away from taking the win, and we aren't playing our best. If everybody improves maybe just 1 contact, whether it was a pass or a serve or an attack, whatever it was, if everybody improves 1 contact, we get the win. And so I think that they started to understand that, and just the level of focus became a little sharper, and our passing became much better. And when our passing's good, we can run the middles, and the middles have had a huge run of success in our last few matches.
And this was a Houston team that had beaten SMU, given the Mustangs their only loss in the conference earlier in the year, beaten UCF earlier in the year, was towards the middle to top half of the conference standings, and you guys have those performances in the last 3 sets, fought off a match point in the 4th. At that point, when you won that 4th set, going into the 5th set, did you have the sense, your team had the sense that, hey, we're going to take this match, we have that momentum? We
talked a lot about the momentum. You know, when you win the 3rd and 4th set, going into the 5th, you have to be feeling good, you know. And Houston is a great team. They were early in the year, they're still a great team now. That's another one that really could have gone either way. And our kids were just sharp. I was really pleased.
We'll talk about those middles and their performance coming up, but I have to mention Dakota Hampton. It seems like every time we talk about her, but every time she keeps getting a double-double, 9 consecutive double-doubles. What does that do for the team to just kind of have that automatic weapon now?
Right. I mean, she's just steady, you know, playing the overall game well. She's in the top 5 in the conference in aces. Obviously, she's getting her digs as a part of the double-double, and then, you know, offensively, she's doing a good job too. We're really trying to move her around a little bit, and not just keeping her on that flat outside ball, but really moving her around to allow her to have a little bit more success.
So Dakota Hampton has had some tremendous performances. Coming up, we'll talk to another person who has been hot lately, redshirt freshman Clara Payne. That's next when the Courtney Draper Show returns.
What am I doing in this royal carriage? I summoned it with YP, the best local app ever, with Uber built right in.
Conroy, take me to the haberdashery.
That's not my name, sir.
Sir. How do I get away with this?
I bought tickets directly from the YP app, and with Fandango built right in, I go right to my primo seats with this obscene bucket of corn. Hot.
Download the YP app. Do it now.
When a warm bath is the most important part of your day, count on natural gas. With continuous hot water and higher efficiency, you can savor bath time just a little longer. People's Gas. We're delivering the natural choice more Floridians enjoy. Learn how you can earn up to $1,750 in cashback allowances with our energy conservation rebates at peoplesgas.com/enjoy.
With redshirt freshman Clara Payne, who is coming off a tremendous weekend this past weekend on the road at Tulane and Houston. And Clara, I want to talk to you about that. This past weekend, you really were locked in, career highs and kills and blocks in a couple of those matches. What clicked this past weekend for you?
Well, we've been, practicing a lot and preparing with the team, and I just think that whenever I really get into the game and we really study the team before, I just feel so prepared when we go into games, and I've got my 2 pin hitters on the left and right side of me, and they're talking to me about what's going on. So when you have that type of connection with your other hitters, it's easier to execute the game plan.
How is that connection going for you? I know this is just your first season with USF, but you've been here for almost a year now playing with this team. Is it really starting to click?
Yeah, I would say that it's really starting to click. I love my teammates, and we're all really working well together. We've got a lot of fight, and we've all just learned a lot about each other, and yeah, we're working great together.
As a middle, you have such an important role, because if you're having a good game, or anyone as a middle having a good game, it draws that defense away from your pin. So how important is it, or how nice is it when you recognize, hey, they have to draw to me and I can free up some outside hitters? It's
really nice having that relief for your pin hitters when you're doing your job well. And as a middle, it can be difficult because usually you are blocking 3 different hitters, but when our servers are aggressive and they get the pass off the net, it's so much easier for me and my blockers to really, make it work.
Was that something where you had to kind of get back into the rhythm and the mindset of, hey, I got to slide all over all these places, I have to block in all these places?
Yeah, from the beginning of fall, it's wow, I'm really getting into it now. I'm actually playing college volleyball. And it's tough, but once you just get into the mindset that you can do it and that your coaches are there to help you and tell you which blocker to really focus on, then it just becomes second nature.
Obviously, a lot of defense required at your position, but offense too. When they run the offense through, you run a play for you. So what's more fun, having a big kill or blocking one right back in someone's face?
Definitely blocking a ball right back in their face, because, you're just working so hard with whether it's a solo blocker or your pin blocker, and it just gives the whole team just really lights up. Everybody gets so excited because when you get that straight down block, it just for me it's like a success for working so hard for what you're doing.
You guys have played a lot of close matches. Sometimes they've been losses, but recently you have won those matches, pulled out those 5-set wins. Does this team have some confidence now that you can really play with anyone in the conference?
Oh, for sure. Since the beginning, we've known that we've had that fight. It's just, finishing the games, and we know that we are, if not better than all the teams that we've been playing. We've just really have to make that connection and completely finish it. And, the team's growing, and my setters are really out there helping me, find a good ball in transition and seeing the block on their own, and I think they're doing a great job.
Just a few weekends left, but still kind of a lot of volleyball. You have those 2 matches every weekend. Is that the goal, to just maintain that high level of play going forward?
Oh, definitely. We are striving to do better every day, and I'm really proud of my team and the coaching staff and what we've all been doing. So things are looking great.
That's redshirt freshman Clara Payne. Back with more on the Courtney Draper Show after this. Clara Payne in her first season here with USF, and she has had a tremendous stretch lately, including this past weekend. As a middle blocker, when you can have someone locked in like that, how much has that helped the team?
She's been awesome. The last several weeks consecutively, she's been doing a great job for us. She hit a 333 against Tulane, a 333 against Houston from a middle. That's exactly the expectation. I mean, she's doing a great job offensively, really working well with our setters. But defensively, she's been great too. I think 8 blocks against Tulane and 6 blocks against Houston. She's number 7 in the conference right now in blocks per set. So for a freshman to be doing that, I just couldn't be more proud of her.
Was this just, hey, I had to get used to college volleyball because this performance, it seems like she's capable of it. I know there's always an adjustment period as a freshman. Do you think now it's just clicked and it's coming easier for her?
Yes, she did come to us from Virginia Tech at the semester last year. She had a spring with us, but her level of maturity just in the last 10 months is off the charts. I've never seen a player mature as quickly as she has. So I think just her willingness to be coached and to listen and to follow a game plan has put her in a tremendous position. I am just really, really proud of her.
And then not to discount the performance of your other middle, Jolie Holland, it seems like every game she turns out another impressive performance. Now they have both of them playing well together. How much has that helped this team?
I think it's been a huge contribution to our success lately. Those two are really hard to stop. And sometimes teams have one dominant middle and the other one, you can kind of take your eyes off to focus on another hitter, but they're doing a great job. Our opponent's middle has to stay with them to protect the middle of the court, which opens up the pins to have a lot more success too. So I hear the pins constantly thanking the middles for holding the block so that they can have their success on the pins too.
So coming up now, interesting scheduling quirk, ECU, Friday here in the Corral. You just played them a couple of weekends ago, and we talked about them in this show earlier. Does that help or hurt that you have played them so recently, or just, hey, that's what the schedule is?
Yeah, the schedule is what it is. The conference gives it to us, so we don't have much wiggle room there. But I think the biggest thing for our kids is just to stay focused. Like, obviously, that was one of our most dominant wins of the season so far, but ECU is also a very good team and has had multiple upsets throughout the season so far. So I think that our kids just really need to stay focused. And great to have them at home this time because, road wins are sometimes hard to come by. So I was thankful that we were able to beat them on the road, and hopefully we'll have the same success at home.
Well, that's coming up Friday, 7 o'clock here in the Corral. Then the women's volleyball team is back on the road for another weekend. You can catch them back home again Friday, November 20th against Cincinnati. Thanks for watching this edition of the Courtney Draper Show.